Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another wondrous Propagandacast from your host, ImperialDane. A one versus one, a whole lot fama. We shall be watching on the right-hand side, RuberGruber fighting for the Soviet Union. For the 110th Rifle Division, going out against that fiend ImperialDane after request. Fighting for Deutschland for the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. Immediately choosing here the mechanized assault doctrine. Figured I'd try it out with assault guns and gotten some hopefully more useful veterancy bonus that might keep them a bit more useful in the longer game. And RuberGruber in the meanwhile going straight for the defensive doctrine and opting there with the Dushka out. Rolling ahead with a rather heavy machine gun to take on the fascists. Assault guns taking up more of a central position, deciding I can also go with them early on without severely setting myself back in infantry again due to the more manpower you end up starting with. So there we go, assault grenadiers moving towards the centre, securing the victory point there, pioneers heading north, and we're noting here that RuberGruber's troops are also heading north, conscript squad supported by the Dushka. Could he be heading straight for the fuel point, hoping to delay my fuel point securing? I wonder. Grenadiers following up here. Second Grenadier squad on the way, and there we go. Looks like he's heading straight for my fuel point. The bastard.
Territory secured.
Center victory point here secured. I'll soon be aware of what's going on here. There we go. Dushka supporting the conscripts, opening up there on the pioneers. The pioneers rather ending up in a rather unfortunate situation. Assault grenadiers and regular grenadiers changing paths. Assault grenadiers will make a straight beeline for the building, just in case the Russians might make a run for it. I can actually occupy it and ensure they don't get to use it, which would definitely be a lot less fun for me. There we go. He is Udaring, but a bit too late, and there go the assault gunners manage to occupy the building, opening up there on the conscripts, point blank with MP40 gunners on the other hand. Managing to actually get slightly past here. The Dushka quickly killing the gunner, buying them time enough to rush straight past it. And up right behind the heavy machine gun crew. Poor Yuri left behind, and there we go. The rest of the Dushka crew decides to get out of there. The assault gunners trying to get in a few more shots as the rest of the bastards leave. Additional grenadiers arriving here, so 2 grenadier squads, 1 assault grenadier squad. Conscript here going down to the grenadiers. Grenadiers in the northern point. The squad's going to flank about. Well, you secure the munitions. So early on we're seeing some nice harassment here from the RuberGruber, actually gaining up a nice bit of territory, and he's holding back from me as well. Going straight on here for the south. And now instead his conscript shifting past towards the centre, while I'm busy just securing the re-securing the northern territories. MG42 following up. There we go. Grenadiers continuing north, while other grenadiers will head south alongside the assault grenadier.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
And setting up a sandbag fighting position as well. Well played, but perhaps a bit too late. And as soon as the grenadiers open up there, he immediately pops back towards the building there, denying it to me. MG42 sending up here as well. Assault grenadiers moving in for the kill. Conscripts heading as well, but quickly deciding to get out of there to realise they're within range of the MG42. But not soon enough. They get to press the assault grenadiers to push in. Grenadiers actually end up taking a few nasty losses, and there we go. Conscripts forced to retreat in the face of the assault grenadiers. Point there secured, southern point being secured as well. Also noting he's actually put down some anti-tank or anti-personnel mines already. That RuberGruber. Dushka quickly taking up position within the church. And immediately puts a stop to the assault grenadiers, forcing them back. Building though has been cleared of Soviets. MD crew might make a rush for it in return in response to this. And there you go, Pioneer Squad quickly takes a loss, well actually don't take a loss. And they come into a quick retreat, possibly they got some plans back in base. Then they take up position here, quickly denying the building, again to ensure that Dushka doesn't occupy to actually have a chance about manoeuvring it. Securing southern victory point. Taking up has been done.
Of supply are disrupted.
Shifting forces here to make a push towards north. The MG42 going to fill up just in case I actually need to suppress the Soviet heavy machine gun, depending on how close, but actually noting he's ensuring there's actually some space before my forces arrive. And the Duska's reactor has some chance to reposition and whatnot. But Grenadiers also moving up there, noting I took the road up here to ensure again I had a chance of catching the heavy machine gun a bit off guard. And there we go, another force moving up the right flank. Overall, a nice little executed flank there. And actually, note now a lot of damage being done there to it. Has to pack up, but does take a bit of time. The Grenadiers get off a few good shots. And there we go, getting the gunner, dropping, and there we go again. So low on health, and Sieg, victory for Deutschland. All of a sudden, Germany now possesses a heavy machine gun of the heavier kind.
Is attempting to steal our sector.
Which should definitely give me a bit of a slight advantage. More sandbag precision going up here from RuberGruber, ready to fight back any fascist counterattacks. Mortar rhyming as well. Figuring again with the Duska's occupying buildings. I could do with a Granatenwerfer just to make it a little less fun for them. Special rifle command up here for RuberGruber. Setting up the heavy machine gun here to cover the munitions point. And basically also obfuscate a large part here from Norfolk. Something that does move there towards the centre. Basically a small fortified position. A blocking house, if you will. Securing the centre as well. Gaining a nice chunk of land. Commies moving straight into the assault grenadiers. With the MP40s. Yeah. Tearing into the communists. And there we go. Mortar ends up ruining it all for me. Landing a bit too close to my own troops. Good job, Friedrich. Your first day on the job and you end up hitting your own men. I'm sorry. This whole artillery business is not as accurate as you would like to think. Anyways, like to make a nice company is up. I'm moving straight on for a pack, just in case, you know, he might be rushing for some armor, in which case I don't want to be caught unprepared, although I quickly realised with the advent of the sniper that, well, I didn't have to worry about that. So snipers, and noting there, a second Duska up. He's certainly not giving up on his heavy machine guns, that's for sure. Counterattacking up through the south again. Assault grenadiers reinforcing, or he's going to reinforce. Also noting this grenade assault has been made a bit cheaper here for the assault grenadiers since the last patch. So northern push and a southern push. He's sort of trying to avoid the centre wires. I'm, you know, trying to perhaps avoid the sniper. Perhaps realising that, you know, oh wait, the centre's open. Let's go harass him there. The bastard. Going for the cut-off point there, denying them fuel, munitions, what else? Assault goes in the way here. They were not fully reinforced though. That was a bit of a blunder on me, it would seem. Oh, no, wait, no mind. The sergeant, or the squad leader went down. Another loss, and there we go. Nice assault grenades. Doesn't do too much damage, but does the trick and sends the Russians running. And noting here, he seems to be a bit aware that something's not right here and actually taking a large path, or just going straight for this. Who knows? Commies moving in.
What do you need?
Flamethrowers flaming a bit wildly there, but duel of the Flammenwerfer. Who shall win this? The Pioneers or the Commies? Looks like the Pioneers. Conscripts moving in from the other side, Sniper moving back. Again going for the fuel point there, mortar firing away. Leichte Panzer Spielwagen arriving here for the Panzergrenadier-Division, quickly upgrading with the 2cm Kampfwagenkanone, as it was known. And conscripts in a bit of trouble with the Flammenwerfer. And at the same time taking up.
How can we help?
Going here for this point. And there you go. Also note, I'm keeping my scout car here a bit of range, not partly to avoid an anti-tank grenade, but also partly to avoid getting hit with a heavy machine gun, since neither would be particularly good for my scout car's health. Otherwise, fun here going on for the cut-off point here. I'm hoping to delay him from his resources down south as much as possible, while the Grenadiers will do a bit of their work. The Grenadiers, in fact, are conscripts in a lot of trouble. Down to one man. Come on, Yuri, run! You can do it. No, never mind. You couldn't.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And it is ours.
There we go. Conscripts pulling back, but coming under fire from the might of their own machine gun. I can't believe this actually turned out to be a bad idea. Scout coming in. I'm hoping to catch a sniper. What I'm less aware of actually catching is a mine with my scout car.
Taking infantry fire. We need orders.
And there we go. That was less fun, admittedly. Noting he's actually pulling back his heavy machine gun. Not a bad idea. Assault guns moving up there towards the fuel point. Switching over here to RuberGruber. Again, I mean, this is a doctrine which pretty much quickly unlocks everything, and he's pretty much only need to sort of really get out the heavy mortar, the tank traps, and the... Well, he needs to get most of it out. Note, he has stopped with my assault guns moving out. Actually realize, you know, again, the Duschka might be coming. What do? Oh, right, I pop down smoke. Nebeln! Fritz! Nebelkerzen. And there's conscripts moving up there, MD-42, hoping to stop things. There might not be so confident actually doing it. And there we go. Noting here, actually, RuberGruber going for the second sniper. Also noting a mechanized armor company gun. But 2 snipers, that's some pretty nasty stuff there. And also noting a Grenadier squad here on a small path to the south. Again, harassment can always do you good. And again, trying to push up. So I'm sort of now currently trying to figure out where is my opponent actually, and doing that via reconnaissance in force. At least by slightly having some gents peek their head out and get shot at. Perhaps not the most sophisticated, but it tends to do the trick.
Yes, comrade.
And again, no, he seems to be rather, you know, staying away from that, which again is doing the trick, partly because it means this munition point is mine, or more specifically, it's Deutschland's. There we go, Gunner is encountering the resistance, again also noting finally he's moving forces down there. The enemies of the people. Support armor core up. Wunderbar.
Machine gun ready. Rifleman ready.
There we go.
My rifle is ready.
This is slightly more,
How can we help?
in some regards, quiet game. There's no vast swift movements. Also known here, telemine up, just in case you decide to rush armor in from here or towards there. Never know. Always good to be prepared in that regard. And of course the pack here covering the center. I don't know if he's going for the mechanized armor company or the tank battalion at the moment. Pioneers here with minesweepers. Again, I'm aware he loves mines. So of course preparing. And there you go, actually he's setting up lots of mines. And noting here, he's actually setting up what looks like a mix of anti-infantry and anti-tank mines. So an interesting little thing here. Going on from a RuberGruber. Good job there.
Soldiers ready.
And of course, as soon as I realized where the Duschka is, I set about flanking it. We'll go flanking with the assault grenadiers. Actually, the support gunners managed to kill one, and there we go. Actually, he managed to retreat in time this time around.
There are no cowards here. Duh.
More mines, lots of mines. I mean, he's mined the snot out of this junction here, which is good. Again, it is what I'd recommend and personally do myself if possible. So making good use of the doctrine in that regard with the anti-personnel mines. Lovely. Unless, of course, you're the person stepping on them, in which case you're obviously a bit disappointed. There we go, veterans on for the combat engineers. Mortar ready to fire away. Noting here, by the way, he's actually keeping his snipers pretty close to each other, which, considering he's within range of my mortar, and he probably ought to be aware that my mortar's nearby, is perhaps not the wisest of ideas. Nice hit there with the mortar. Veterans on for the Granatenwerfer. And there we go, N85 arriving. Also noting here in response, a Sturmgeschütz has already arrived from the Wehrmacht to support the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. Setting up position in the house to sort of spot things ahead. Assault grenadiers waiting for anything that might happen, just in case another infantry assault moves in. Looks like he's moving in the center Stu opening up here on the conscripts down south. And nice hit there, immediately snuffing the lives of 3 conscripts with the tight explosive shells. And some poor sniper actually lost his life. I think the pack actually got him. Well, good job done there, Heinrich. An extra bottle of schnapps to you. When the war is over, that is. No drinking on the job. At least not under my command. Back there as the H-85 lumbers forwards.
You have orders?
RuberGruber himself also taking a more measured approach. And again, shifting advance, if ever deemed necessary, this time towards the south. Again, sneaking in forces there. At the same time, RuberGruber moving north, the H-85 being moved north. Perhaps ready to push in towards my fortified position up here, well, moderately fortified. And actually getting some penal troops up now. Splendid, splendid. And we're opening up on the Dushka, but time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is a nice 50-50 split of the map. I do have a slight advantage in victory points, but otherwise beyond that he's probably got a bit more munitions, and certainly he's got a lot more munitions, and a bit more fuel I would suspect at the moment than me. He's also got a decent force. He's a bit lacking in infantry, though he's working towards fixing that. Of course, he's got 2 snipers who can definitely prove to be a nasty problem for me, and largely, I mean, he seems to be sending up his forces for more of a hit and run style, you know, H-85s, snipers, that is long range, long firepower, but can also quickly get out of the danger in case the Germans come running with all their weapons. The fiends. And of course, at the moment, I do feel a bit more on the defensive because, you know, he's done a good job mining things up. He's got, you know, Dushkas, he's got snipers, he's got H-85s. In that sense, if I move attack and I do it in a slightly wrong manner, I mean, I can get into a bit of trouble. But on the other hand, if I can land a proper blow, I can actually do a lot of damage to him because, I mean, the sniper, for example, is something that, you know, if caught in the wrong spot, ends up dying really, really quickly. So that could work out to my advantage. Could, though, being the operating word, not will. And of course, what is my situation on the other hand? I mean, I've got definitely a lot more infantry. I've been able to keeping my troops alive. In fact, I've also gotten some Panzergrenadier now, thus adding in more. And more specifically, some troops can also do a bit of a nice job in hunting down, say, some snipers. I've also got more support weapons. I've got a Dushka, I've got an MG42, I've got a mortar, packed pioneers, and I got one Stug, one Sturmgeschütz, with the MG42 pintle mounted on it as well. Yeah. And of course, I've got mechanized assault. I've also got in somewhat munitions. For example, I could call in eventually a light artillery barrage if so desired. I could try with the Stug 3 assault gun of the Ausführung A kind, you know, to help with the infantry. I could also try the mechanized assault group, for example, try and hunt down the snipers that way. I mean, there's a few options open to me at the moment. Of course, I could also just get more Stug, which is also definitely an option in my book anyways. But the time being, I mean, I need to hold out. I need to also keep pushing again. I'm doing that through my larger advantage infantry. I know it can't be everywhere. And that's actually the main problem here with RuberGruber's force. It is not a very good defensive force. It is not very good at holding all the territory it currently has. It's reasonably good in attacking, counter-attacking, but not defending. So again, if I leverage this the correct way, I sort of shield myself against any counterattacks, I can basically overstretch him, you know, do some nasty things again. That's what I'm doing. I'm constantly sending forces down south, where he's largely, you know, in the north. And again, if he wants to react to this, he'll have to break off the assault, or at least considerably weaken it, because again, with the 2 snipers, he can't, for example, afford to lose a lot there in support. So that is something that will work to my advantage. And again, that is the particular weakness. He's gone for a lot of, you know, high price, high power units, but again, you know, they can't be everywhere. In particular, snipers are not, you know, the sort of thing kind of covering a large part of the map. So that again is something to keep in mind with all of this. And of course, I could also try and set up myself up for a Tiger in the long run. And again, I mean, a mechanized assault group could perhaps pay off. I mean, they have been made a bit cheaper, and you still get a half track with a bunch of panzer gunners in them ready to cut down someone you don't like. But back to RuberGruber and back to the fight. Setting up the Dushka there, Dushka opening up there. Obviously not doing an awful lot to the H-85.
Troops are standing by.
But finding where the H-85 itself not doing too much, they get some building. Snipers moving up close. Yuri, I think we might be standing a bit too close to the fascists' heavy machine gun. Yeah, oh no! They got Yuri! Anyways, assault gun is moving up. Chanting in there, forcing the snipers to retreat, although I'm sure the Dushka has something to do with it. And getting very close to Veteran 2. I mean, so far though, I've not really had much luck in them getting them up to Veteran 2, where they really begin shining, I think. So that's a bit of a problem. Quickly moving up the pack, quickly moving up the Stug to support this position. He seems, though, RuberGruber to realise this is not looking too good. Again, he all of a sudden lost a large chunk of the force. Meant to lead the assault, and he quickly pulls things back a bit. Getting our second pack, as also moved the pack up here to shield against the H-85's predations in the north. Strafniki arriving to support the rifle division with their flamethrowers as well. And of course, I mean, they've also really benefited from the new veterancy. They gain hoorah, and of course they also get more accuracy and such. I mean, basically the assault gunners and penal troops have become a bit more useful under the new patches with the new veterancy. And there you go, nice hit from the Sturmgeschütz. Anything continues to move north. Stu continues to fire away. SU-5 getting blasted by the Panzerabwehrkanone. And also noting here, clearing out the mines. Since again, he's ate out a lot of mines, but again, I do have a minesweeper. And again, minesweepers do pay off.
Falling into enemy hands.
Conscripts here. Penal troopers didn't do too well there.
It is now under our control.
4 kills on the Dushka. And there you go, quick retreat in the face of the Sturmgeschütz. Stu getting another kill in the glory of Swaziland.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
And there we go, quickly sending down an S-mine field here. Again, it is a junction, so basically anyone caught on this can end up in a not-so-happy position. Snipers, and looks like again he's shifting his advance of attack. He knows I'm up here now, just trying to push up the centre again. I actually got up a new pack. Also noting I've got the mortar on the position and can actually sort of cover a nice chunk of the field of area, at least around my main points of effort. And of course, I mean, there's nothing really covering the snipers at the moment, except the Dushka, but then there's also mortar nearby to fire. There we go, nice hit. And there we go, finally, Veteran 2, all of a sudden they shoot a lot faster. And there goes snipers going down to the assault grenadiers. They cannot be stopped. Yeah, we can finally hit something, Heinz. Yeah. Stu Golds are moving in. Heavy machine gun inside the church. Realizing there's no sanction, all of a sudden the assault guns find themselves with a lot more trouble than initially anticipated. They will need to get the hell out of there pretty quickly. Looks like a quick attempt here at the assault grenadiers. Didn't work out, sadly. But there we go, center point, very, very nicely fortified with S-mines. Lots of mines. And a nice assault, light artillery barrels going down here, the light infantry Geschütz bombarding the position with the Dushka. It's afraid to go outside into the artillery rain. Only one survivor, only one survivor. S-35 set off some of the mines, conscripts set off another. Grenadiers here running to the top, they do gain veteran 2, but absolutely vicious hit there from the H-35. Quickly snuffs the lives of 2 grenadiers. Also at the same time, the H-35 here sets up a man up that actually allow my Stooks to move ahead and shoot it up. Though I'm a bit too slow in doing it here, I'm actually end up losing a bit of an advantage. Though it doesn't help that they both bloody well miss. Also very close for actually running over the snipers with my Stooks. But force a quick pull back my Stools again, though I probably could have knocked out the H-35 had they both, you know, been actually hitting. That first barrage for penal troops moving ahead here. Already suffering a few losses there to the S-mines. Panzer's moving in there, quick Gewaltladung, clearing out the final crew member. And what is this? The Ausführung E arriving to support the Ausführung G.
Your orders, comrade. Tank destroyer here. Tank destroyer here. Flamethrower standing by. Waiting for your command.
Time to pop back to the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. Snipers again, using them pretty aggressively again. Buildings do provide some protection against snipers that can't just, you know, rush up, quick clear out a building, which is damn great. And conscripts getting a bit of a nice surprise there. 3 assault guns opening up with a vengeance. Heavy losses then inflicted, but H-35 moving ahead. Opening up on the Stooks. Only 1 conscript, by the way, survived the encounter with the Sturmgeschütz. Mortaring up again. MB-40 are going to be forced to abandon there. Pack their crew. Troops advancing. Looks like RuberGruber is being ready for a larger assault here. Both Su-35s ready. Snipers. Assault is going to advance again. Also Panzer Grenadiers, they simply can't fire off enough, hopefully, to stop them unless the Su-35s get lucky. They don't. And that's where actually the snipers force retreat. In fact, a lot force retreat. Also noting more mines going up there. Good job, RuberGruber. Panzer Grenadiers are forced to retreat. There go comrades quickly going down here to the assault grenadiers. And looks like he's finally gotten himself a heavy mortar. Actually, took quite a lot of time before he gutted that. A bit surprised at that, a bit surprised. Assault guns are getting repaired. Stu S-85's advancing, Soviet tank destroyers. There we go, Grenadiers retreating in the face of the penal troops. And there go 1 Stu coming under fire. One up with focus sight. Well played there, well played. Bit too slow getting up there, S-85, much to my chagrin. But we do see the packs opening up here. 2 packs opening up the S-85s, quickly forcing RuberGruber to pull back. And I've still got the E and the G models. Whoops, that was not supposed to go up. No idea why I decided to do that. But continue to advance up here from RuberGruber. More conscripts. Sniper slowly following up. And of course Duke's firing away. Pack that does get cleared up, but the conscripts do find themselves under the swift attention of the Dushka. Pack getting sniped. Conscripts getting blasted away by the Stormgear shots. MG42 bombs going to take up position within the building, and a quick light artillery barrage going down there on the sniper's positions, at least forcing them away. And penal troops, by the way, went down here to the mines in the south. Good job there with the S-Minen. Duke here, needs to be a bit more careful. Again, snipers, and again, there's nothing to cover them, which again allows me to push forward. Fortunately here, the Panzer are going to take up a northern approach behind the church, so actually my opponent can't see me moving them up closer to him. That way I'm rather hoping my Panzer can get the drop on him. There we go, veterans you won. Assault is also moving up quick about landing on the schwerer Granatenwerfer there. Getting close there to Veterans E3, coming into a bit of trouble. And there we go, Veterans E3 up for the Assault Grenadier. Closing in onto Tiger, by the way.
Taking panzer fire here!
But largely now also known here that RuberGruber seems to have given up on the north. He's now largely pushing for the center. He wants to break the center. He wants to break it. He wants that one final blow to secure victory for the motherland. And a fresh Dushka. That is the third one, I believe.
We have a full squad.
And looks like this might actually be a diversion. He's sending up one small squad here to the north, while the rest are setting up for the assault here. But at the same time, actually shifting the Stu kits ready to be able to cover here, but also here in some case something happens there, of course. Again, moving south, some pioneers doing their work there.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Note, by the way, Veteran 2 on the mortar, which makes it fire faster and more accurately. And these snipers, by the way, are not looking too good. I mean, they've got plenty of experience, but health-wise, they could be dead any moment soon. Speed advances. And there we go, conscripts up north spotted. Stu 3E opening up. Making a straight run for the pack. 40 Panzer guns, assault guns moving in towards the centre. Grenadiers following up support. S-Mines, no, I thought I might lay down to S-Mines there, but no.
That was too close! Taking fire!
Lots of mortar fire. Lots of mortar fire, in fact. And a quick grenade assault there on the Dushka. Clearing out only one. Poor sod. No luck beyond that. S-35 continuing to fire away. Snipers as well. Heavy mortar joining in the fun. MG42 not doing too well. And very close to the Tiger. Very close.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
Very close. Interesting enough, no medic upgrade at the regimental field headquarters. That is quite a surprise. quite the surprise.
Look here. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Veteran to do combat engineer sending towards the mess there.
Pioneers here.
Assault guns standing by. Enemy Panzer! Kampfwagen is ready. The enemy has killed a machine gun.
There we go, the MD-42 goes down, tragically so. And there we go, actually S-Mine's going down there again, wanting to protect some of the more less travel points, at least where I won't be having most of my forces. Minefields can do the trick reasonably well. In particular, if your opponent isn't paying attention. In which case S-Minefields are actually quite lethal. There we go.
We have taken it.
Taking Soviet fire!
And anti-tank grenade there, a bit too slow with the Stuke 3E. But firing away, the Duska joining in grenadiers as well. At the same time in the centre, Assault pushing in their snipers. Looks like a fresh sniper squad. He might have lost one. SU-5 wing coming under fire there from Stuke and punt up their Kanone. Very close there to getting it down. Tigers called in. There we go. Veteran 2 on the SU-5 by the way. Veteran 1 on the Duska. Stuke there pulled away, or at least forced away. Assault goes man to get off a Panzerfaust. Conscript's wiped out. Conscript there fighting for the centre. Stuke firing away continually. 12 kills. Tiger arrives. And there we go. Achtung, Achtung. Schwerer Panzer bereit. And there we go. Almost getting the sniper. There we go. In fact, killing the sniper. And that, by the way, was the Veteran 1, Veteran 2 sniper.
The enemy is down to 75 points. Infantry squad has been killed.
SU-5 having a bit of trouble there. Most of the shots bouncing off the frontal armour. Although, again, plenty of them can also not bounce. Shot misses. Shot misses. Come on, Heinz. And there we go. Destroyed engine on the SU-5. And actually realising now, do have a chance of hunting it down. And good night, out of control. The SU-5 is down. The other one, obviously, not going to be much help either. So there we go, brief match there. Quick match, a bit brutal at times, and certainly, you know, rather highlight some defensive play, the more speculative. Where is my opponent? What is he doing? What should I do next? And of course, for me, the challenge was, of course, set up my defense in the correct way, guessing where he might attack from, and of course, you know, preparing for snipers and SU-5 is a very nasty tactic, and is very much, you know, strike fast, hard, and you know, hopefully you won't have to get in any sort of prolonged engagement, in which case he probably wouldn't have done too well. And so for me, of course, it was, you know, defending, for him it was about attacking, because again, the force he had really wasn't made for defense. For that, he'd actually need a lot more infantry, and I think more mines, and he'd rather forget the mines as the things went on, whereas I began mining more as the game progressed, which allowed me to catch some infantry unawares here and there, which certainly paid off quite nicely, in particular with those penal troops. Those were quickly dispatched. The assault grenadiers, you know, again, they took a bit of time, you know, to get where they could actually be used for once, you know, they hit Veteran 2. Things began progressing much faster, and they ultimately became one of the most effective troops according to stats anyways. Panzer Grenadiers did alright, they could certainly have done a bit better. Overall, also, most of the doctrine was used, except the mechanized assault group. That could probably perhaps have tried that a bit. Stugs did alright, but again, I mean, none really hit Veteran 2, which is really where they begin looking cool, so slight disappointment there. I mean, for RuberGruber, again, you know, he had, in some sense, a nice force composition, but again, it was also one we couldn't, you know, hold territory. It was also one that was rather risky in some sense, you know, if he lost something vital, he wouldn't be able to continue. So that was a bit of a problem for him. I also think he was a bit too slow there with the heavy mortar, and the question is partly, you know, perhaps tanks and perhaps a few scout cars might have been better, something more aggressive, something more swift, because the way he played gave me ample of time to react to every assault and quickly move in forces to repair. Had he been more speedy, I might not have had such a good chance, in particular then could follow up with assault anti-tank guns and heavy machine guns to then slow down a counterattack. That might actually have worked quite nicely. But ultimately, though, a victory belongs to Germany for this fight. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a thing or two or three. If you did, why not subscribe, tell a friend. If you didn't, well, why not replay on? Provide some feedback in the comments. This is ImperialDane saying cheers.